Hello, I'm Tracey Ann Burgess and welcome to the Change Studio. Today's episode is episode 6 in a series of 14 videos that I've created to help women who are moving through a big life change or to help women who want to change but aren't quite sure how or where to start. Today's title is How to Release What I Don't Need in My Life, and as with my other episodes, this episode is also based on the 14 cards from my change kit, and that card is called Release. By the end of this video, you will learn how to identify what or possibly who is sabotaging your life. The answers might surprise you, and you'll find that it's a really freeing video, and we've got a small practice that's rather fun, and I hope you enjoy it. It's really effective. Let's get into it. Maybe the first question that we should be asking ourselves is not what do we want to release or need to release or choose to release, but why do we want to release it? In this video, we're going to be specifically talking about relationships, so that's releasing people in your life, and also stories, different stories you might have about yourself or a particular life challenge that you've had. And these things are really very impactful. And so let's think about why. So for me, my big motivator is in my life, I really want to reach my full potential. I would hate to think I get to the end of my life and I thought, God, well, I spent too much time on Facebook, so I couldn't quite pull that one off, or I chose to say no to all these things because I just sort of felt too tired or I felt too weighed down. So that is my motivator. But maybe your motivator is you just really want to be more happy. You want to have more self-connection. You want to reach somewhere in your career or in your artistic life or in your personal life or whatever it may be. But hold that in your mind, even better than that. Write it down, because writing down is really powerful. So then you know why you're going to be going through what we're doing today. So, because otherwise you might think, oh, it's a little bit too much work, I can't really be bothered. But it's really worthwhile, so just hang in there. As you can see, I've been a little bit busy. As with the last couple of weeks, I got a little bit carried away with doing some little drawings, doing some little paintings. Part of the reason why I do this is because years ago when I was super overwhelmed and burnt out after I'd had a huge life change, I just was quite compromised. I needed really simple step-by-step processes, and I just couldn't bear to be overwhelmed. I'd start to shut down. So I'm doing this for people who are quite overwhelmed and maybe just want a little bit of entertainment. No, it's just kind of a simple, easy way to look at it. Because let's face it, in some of these videos, we go quite deep. So this is kind of like a balance, a little bit of simplicity and depth. I hope you like it. If you don't like it, pop it in the comments and go, I think that's dopey. I mean, I'll listen to you. I might not stop, but I'll listen to you, okay? As we were saying, we've talked about the why. Now is the what. What can you release that can really help uplift you in your life? And so here I am. This is me and my full potential. This is me over here, attempting to travel to there. I always use the balloon. You might have noticed that I've got the balloon. The balloon is like my symbol in my business. It really, to me, symbolizes freedom, liberty, up in the clouds, you know, going high above anything that can kind of pull you down or hold you down. So that's why I always use the balloon. I just love it. And here's our bin. So for all those non-Australians, the bin is the trash can. So we are going to get ready to throw some things in there. The first thing we're going to look at throwing in our bin are some of our relationships. It's worthwhile thinking why you're holding on to them. It is worthwhile thinking through this video, why are you actually holding on to some of these things that are holding you down, holding you back, binding you up. The first thing that we're going to look at are relationships. So here I've drawn a little bit of a people pyramid. So you know the food pyramid that they say is all nurturing and is full of nutrition for you? Well, this is the people pyramid, and some of them aren't good for you at all. So I'm going to stick this on here, and I'm going to tell you, how do you like my system? Have you ever seen Ed Wood? I love that movie. This system reminds me of that a little bit. Go look it up. Thank you, Johnny Depp, and Tim Burton. And here we have the friend pyramid or the non-friend pyramid. Let's look at these people. This is the mob you want to be hanging with. This is your dream team. These are all the people that have your back, believe in you, trust in you, love you, and accept you fully for who you are, and will always be there for you. This is who you want to be spending the bulk of your time with. This one, these guys are the okie dokie folks. They're okay. Like, they're pretty good value. They're mostly there for you, and you can mostly rely upon them. You might have a little bit of an occasion where maybe you're just not that close to them. Maybe they're just acquaintances. But they're pretty good folks, and you're really worthwhile spending a goodly amount of time with them. These are uplifting. Now we come to the Q up here. These are the questionables. So these are people that you just don't really feel exactly safe in their company. Not exactly. You know, you've got to keep your boundaries up. You know that, you can't be completely open. It's not a completely safe environment. They might have a go at you. You might just be able to feel that there's judgment from their part. And so these are the people you want to really limit your time with. Right, here's the toxic tribe right at the top. We all know them, we all have them. Some of them may be family. Some of them may be partners. Whoops. Yeah, that's another video. Some of them may be people that you work with. Some of them may be a boss. So maybe there are some that you can't help but spending time around. First rule is cut these people right out of your lives. Delete them if you can. If you cannot delete them, delete their impact. The first thing I'm going to do is actually delete them. They're gone. When I was feeling particularly vulnerable, burnt out, PTSD, after I lost our business, I had to absolutely reduce time around toxic people, and most of them I completely cut out. The ones that I didn't, I saw maybe twice a year, never in my own home, and for very short periods of time. And then, so let's firstly delete those. They're in the bin. Actually, I'm going to rip them up. Just gives me that little bit of satisfaction. Gone. The other thing I want to talk about is it's not just about deleting them out of your lives. It's about deleting your thought processes around them. So maybe you're just thinking about them, or maybe you've heard about them, or maybe something's happened and it's triggered you thinking about these people, or maybe you've spent some time around them. What you can find is that great saying is, it's not the bite, it's the venom that runs around the body. And so you can have the story or the encounter keep going through your mind, and maybe there's something they've done to you or something's gone on and it really, really triggers you. So the idea is releasing that thought. You can hear it start up and you can just go, stop, I'm releasing that thought. I'm just stepping away from that particular story. So there is two ways that you can release the toxic tribe. One is to not be in their company, and two is to not let them actually touch you in any other way, and that includes going around your head. So the next thing we're going to talk about are stories. These can be really powerful. So this is my story. And they're often not happy ones. Sadly. I mean, there's the happy ones, there are uplifting ones, right? So it's the ones filled with challenge and loss and adversity. They're the stories that I'm talking about. you can have something go on in your life, like I was talking about with my really big change challenge, which happened some years ago. And those things can be in the past, but they can kind of reverberate through your life, and you can be bringing them into your present day in the form of a story. So something that you have made up about your challenge. So let's talk about what your change challenge might be. Maybe it's divorce. Maybe you've lost your job. Maybe you've lost your career. Maybe you've lost your house. Maybe you've lost your health. Maybe you've lost your relationship. There's something that's gone on that's really shifted your world, and that can have a really huge impact psychologically and emotionally, and it can become a story in your life. I remember when I lost our business, and we just had so much going on over quite a long period of time. There's a fair bit of damage done. I really came out of that with this story, and for sometimes it's embarrassing to say now, oh my God, but for some time people would I would meet people, or I would see people from my past, and they go, hi, how are you? And I just go, oh my God, this thing happened, and our business was taken away by this corrupt official, and we had, it was all out of our power and all of our control, and it was, and I actually really felt like such a victim, and that's how they were looking at me. And it really took me a while to go, you know what? That story's really not serving me any longer. I mean, for a while initially, it was me trying to come to terms with it, but there are more constructive ways to come to terms with something like that. And after a while, I was realizing that actually that was all in the past, but I was still imprisoned by this story. This story was a shackle. It was weighing me down. It was stopping me from expanding and moving forward and lifting up. It was spiraling me down. It wasn't spiraling me up. And I'm a spiral up kind of girl. Wherever I can get some uplift, I want it. I want to get into it. And that story was not helping. And the strange thing is, so many good things started to come from that adversity, and it kind of diluted that other story that I had, but I still was holding on to it in my mind. So I decided to drop it and never frame it in that way again. Not in that way, I'll still talk about it. Obviously, I'm talking about it to you, but I don't lead with that story. That story does not identify me, and I no longer identify with that story. So I'm ripping it up. It feels very satisfying, actually. You can do the same. Write them down on paper and rip them up. Throw them in the bin. The next story is really a doozy. One point I would like to make about these change challenges is that sometimes these challenges can really take everything out of your control. Whatever you might have lost, whatever has changed, whatever has flipped, it's like a big hand coming down and going, you can't have it. And keep taking and keep taking. And so you need at that time to keep releasing, whether you like it or not. You have to release it. You can't hold on to it, whatever those circumstances are, whatever the money or the house or the property or the people or the whatever promotion, whatever it is. If that's somehow gone, been taken out of your control, you do need to release it. And so this exercise is really great because you choose when and what you want to release and how you want to release it. Here's the next one. So good. Family myths and legends. Don't we all love this? Oh, I love it. There's my bit of blue tack still there. Don't worry about this. It doesn't mean anything. It's just a splodge from last week. Family myths and legends. Isn't that an interesting one? That's sort of the one where your family has at some point, or someone in your family has kind of like dubbed you to be this, that. And somehow that's meant to be your identity in the family. And more often than not, it's not really, something that you're really keen to be known for or known as. And it can be it's not true. Or maybe there's a grain of truth in it, but there's really nothing behind it. And it will just roll on for the years and the decades maybe, and you'll always be known as this person. And it can be really rubbish. It's just crap and you don't need it in your life. And you can shine the light of consciousness on it, which is what this is all about. Going through change is all about bringing your awareness to observing, listening in your mind, and feeling your emotions. And they're the signposts that you know, oh, wait a minute, let me just actually have a really good close look at this and let me change this up to help uplift me. And this family myths and legends, it's got to go. So let's rip it up. It's rubbish. That's gone. Anything that holds you down, ties you down, and binds you and prevents you from reaching your full potential has got to go. So there's two really good things to think about today that can help you spiral up, that can help you expand and embrace exactly who you are, and can really support you in getting where you want to go. It's a simple little exercise, but it's very powerful. You could, over the next week, get your journal out, write down what are some of these relationships that you can release. What about some self-talk, some self-beliefs you can release? Now, it all gets a little bit big if we start talking about some of these things, but what are some of the habits? What are some of the mindsets that you can release? This is just to help you get the ball rolling, because the lighter you are, the easier it is for you to get to wherever you need to go. And you just don't need to be burdened down by any of it. So it's a choice, it's a decision that you make. You give yourself permission to go to the direction that you want to go in your life. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I've really enjoyed this card. I mean, I enjoy all of my cards from the Passport Change Kit, but this card is a really cleansing card, a decluttering card, and I really loved it. So next week is going to be completely different. It's a very impactful card. It's the truth card. It's all about finding what your personal truth is, and we're going to be talking about writing a personal manifesto, which sounds heavy. It's deep, but it's fun, as I hope you find all my videos are. Please like, share, or comment on my videos if you're really enjoying them, and subscribe to my channel and click the little bell, then that way you'll be notified every time I release a new video. If you're interested in finding out more about the Passport Change Kit, which is what all of these 14 videos are based on, you can go to my website and you can find out more about the kit. I've got a video on there about the cards and about the book that comes with it. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.